Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to do an animated mat like this. This video is going to show you how I did this process. Let's go ahead and close this project down so I can show you from scratch how it's done. Open up Premiere and create a brand new project. I'm going to call it animated map, and I'm going to save it to my desktop. So where's my desktop animated map there, and select that folder. Click OK to accept the there's a folder already there, so I'm going to just type number 5 or something like that. Okay. Opens up, and now I need to import some media. The first media I'm going to need is, of course, the map. So I'm going to go to Google to open that up. So I'm going to click on my Google Chrome here. Type in Google Map Venezuela. That's what I'm looking for. So press return. It pops right up. Click on that map, and it shows up like so. I'm going to use my scroll wheel to zoom in. Then I'm going to take a screenshot of this. You can use the snip tool in Windows, or on the Mac, you can use Command Shift and the number 4. I have a little plugin here, so I'm going to click on that, and it's called Open Screenshot. I'll do a visible screenshot right like so, and it will just capture that screen. I will then go ahead and hit the Save Local to save the results, and it will download that to my computer. To see where it's downloaded, I'm going to click on this little arrow and go to Open, and it will then navigate to that location. And once that happens, I'm going to go ahead and close this down by clicking on the X to close that. Now I need to import that map into Adobe Premiere. To do so, I just double click in this blank space and navigate to the location where I installed that, downloaded that map. Click on it and select Open, and it will then open right up. Alternatively, you could just click on File and Import and do the same thing. Now that my file is in place, I need to create a sequence for it. So File, New, Sequence. I'm going to select the digital single lens reflex sequence, 1080p at 24 frames per second. I'll call it Map, and then OK. I'm going to drag this map over into my timeline. I can't really see what I'm doing here because it's so small, so I'm going to click on this wrench, expand all tracks, and then I'm going to press the plus key on my keyboard to zoom in just a bit, and I can see that my clip is 5 seconds on the timeline here. I'm going to extend that to about 9 seconds. Yeah, right about there. Okay. Next, I need to situate it just right so I can see both Orlando and Venezuela. And to do so, I'm going to click the home on my keyboard so I go back to the very beginning. Then I'll click on, let's see, I need to click on the map itself to activate it, and then click on Effect Controls. And then I'm going to use my scale function here, and then adjust the scale by simply clicking and moving the numbers there until I can see both Venezuela there on the bottom right and Orlando there in the top center. So at 77%, I think I'm pretty happy with that. The next step will be to create my titles. I want to highlight the word Venezuela here, highlight the word Orlando here, and then put the animation between the two of them. I'm going to use 3 titles to do that. Click on Title, New Title, Default Still, and then for the first one will be for Venezuela Circle. Okay, and it opens up. I'm going to grab my ellipse tool here, click on it. I'm going to hold the Shift key down on my keyboard and just drag over Venezuela. It creates this filled circle. Click on the ellipse and select a Open Bezier, and it will remove the closed fill. Then we're going to go ahead and change the color here to red. So click on the color option, select your red, and click OK. Click on your selection tool and move that to wherever you want. Once you've made your highlight, we're going to create a second title. So click on this icon up here, and we're going to call that one Orlando Circle. Then click on OK. And it will make a copy of the first title. So let's just move it to Orlando. Just like that. We need one more title. So click on this same icon again. And let's call it The Line. And then click on OK. The line appears. This is our third title. We're going to delete this one here. We don't need that one anymore. Click on your text tool here and create a text frame. We're going to use the minus key on the keyboard to draw a series of lines. Just going to hold it down here real quickly and create that line all the way across. Just like that. And then click on your selection tool, adjust the text frame here, and that's good. Now we need to rotate this text frame to join Venezuela to Orlando. So take your mouse to the very edge, hover until it turns into this bent little cursor here, pull, and it will then twist it like so. Then grab the middle of it, move over until your line is on Venezuela, like so. Oh, and you want this to go right through Orlando. So let's turn it some more, move it over, and down. Just like that. Perfect. Let's go ahead and close our title window. All right, now we need to add these elements back to our map. But I want to do one thing. I see here that Venezuela is at the very tip of this map. And so I want to kind of animate the map itself, not by much, but just by a little bit so that it does a little bit of movement as we go through. So click on this map here and double click on this. You can always use these controls to move it, but sometimes double clicking can be a little bit more precise. I'll move it up just a tad like so. So to do that animation, I am going to turn on my position and scale. And once that's turned on, then I am going to move the CTI to about there. And then click on your keyframe. Now you notice that I didn't make any other changes in the position or scale from this point to that point. That means it's going to remain the exact same. But then I'm going to move my CTI to here, and I'm add my keyframes here. And once I do that, I'm going to make a change between this point and that point here. And the position change I'll do, I'll just simply double click on this, and then I'll move this down like so to reveal Orlando. All right. So then, now let's go ahead and check it and see what that looks like. So click here and select home on your keyboard, play it back. And there it goes. And it zooms down or moves down and shows. The next thing we want to do here is highlight the name Venezuela. And to do that, we're going to grab the Venezuela circle and drop it onto our timeline and move it over just a bit like so. And let's play this back. And right away we can see that it's in the wrong spot. And also I want to see where the map begins to move. So click on the map here. And right away I can see that the map begins to move right there. Or let me just use this. There we go. So I'm going to move this just before that spot, right about there. Yeah. And then expand it over to maybe here. I want this circle to show up and then disappear before the map begins to move. So press home and play it back. It's in the wrong spot. So just double click on it and move the circle to the correct spot. And there we are. Close that down. We're also going to add an effect to this. So click on Effects, and let's add the wipe and grab that right there. Make it a little small. Click on the effect, move it over just a bit. Home, play it back. There we go. Then disappears, begins to move. Excellent. I'll do the same thing to the second title here. So grab the Orlando, move it over to the end here. Make it small, like so. Pull it to the very end. Play it back. And moving this to where the map stops moving. So there. So right at this spot is where the map will stop moving. So I'm going to move this to that spot right there. And that's when it gets highlighted. I'll also double click on it. It's, yeah, I'm going to double click on it. It's too big. So hold my shift key down and then drag in and then move it to the correct location. Close that down. I'm going to add a wipe to it also. So Effects, Wipe, add it on, click, make it small. So now it should play back. Very good. All right. The third thing is to add the line. So click, drag the line on, expand the length of it, and play it back. The line's good, but you can see as the map moves, it doesn't stay in the correct location. So we want to fix that right away. To fix that, click on the line, and I'm going to select video number 2, video number 3, so I can jump between the edit points. So there we go. Click on this one here. This is the video 3. The line is located, and I'm going to make sure that as we move from this point to that point, that this line here is lined up to this V throughout. To do so, click on the line and then come up to the very top here. We're going to turn on our position and scale. And then once that's done, we're going to double click on this line here, and we're going to move it to the correct location, right in line with that V right there. And then we're going to move ahead just a tad and add some keyframes. As you can see, it moved just a bit, so we're going to double click on that again and put it back to where we want it to go, which is there. We're going to move ahead a notch, add the keyframes again, and we are going to double click and move. Fingers here. All right. And then we're going to go ahead just a bit more. Let's go, yeah, something like that. Add your keyframes, double click, and of course, line it up. Jump ahead and add your double click, and there we go. Jump ahead, keyframes, double click, jump ahead, keyframes, and double click, then jump ahead and keyframes, double click, there. Is that the final position? Let's see. I moved over just a little bit, so I'm going to just move these over just a tad, like so. There. And, oh, if that's the case, then I need to move this just like so. There. Let me test that and see what I've done here. So play. It's a little bit of movement I see here. Right about there. So I think I'm just going to carry these out to the very end. So let's see. To avoid that. So let's try it one more time. Okay, very good. There's a little extra bit of movement I saw. I think there's a little bit at the beginning too. Let's see. Yeah, it kind of just shows up there. All right, so that's pretty good. So now that I have that done, the last thing I need to do is to animate the actual opacity of the line or the visibility of the line. So let's go ahead and save my work, Command S to save that. And let's drag your CTI to the very beginning by pressing the up and down arrows of your keyboard. Just like in this case, I was here, so I pressed up to go back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to animate the visibility of this line. To do so, you're going to come over to your opacity here, and I'm going to use a mask. So click on the 4-point polygon mask, click on that, and it will open up, and you'll see 4 options you can animate. We're going to animate the mask path, so click on that to turn that on, and then click on the mask itself. And then what we're going to do is animate the opacity of the mask. So grab this mask and move it down to the Venezuela area here. Grab the ends here, and we're going to pull it below Venezuela so that you see nothing at the start. Okay. Then we're going to jump to the next set of keyframes, and when that happens, we're going to turn on our mask path. We're going to add a keyframe there. Then we're going to click on the mask itself, and then move that up just a bit to animate a little bit. Then we're going to move over to the next set of keyframes and make sure we add our keyframe for the mask path, and then click on the mask itself. And then we're going to move this up just a tad. So we're just animating in, small little steps here. Jump ahead again, add the mask for the path, click on the mask itself, and move this up just a bit. Jump ahead, add the keyframe, click on the mask path, or sorry, I think I said that wrong, but you know what I mean. Jump ahead and add your keyframe, click on your mask, move your deal just a bit there. I should be going faster. Jump ahead and add your keyframe, click on your mask, and move that up just like so. Jump ahead, click on your keyframe, and then jump to your mask. What happened there? I need to go, I had to, something, it looks like I was at the very end, so I had to go back one frame. Anyway, just go up here and pull right where Orlando, right there, and then stop. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and try that and see what we have done. So click on this home and press play. Venezuela. Look at that. It's perfect. And it goes all the way, and then it stops. Oh, very good. Now notice that it disappears. So I'll probably pull this out maybe a bit, and let's try that and see what it does. All right, very good. So that's it. That's what I wanted. That works out real well. And you come. All right, very good. And it lights up. Oh, ha ha ha! I got something. What's going on here? For this one, looks like I have this. Ah, I see. It goes back. So I'm gonna just kind of grab these three things and just move them to the end there. So let's see what that gives us. Very good. I just had to move those three keyframes to the very end. All right. Space, Venezuela, goes all the way through, goes all the way up. So to quickly summarize, we got the image from Google Maps. We then put it in to Premiere. We then slightly animated the map itself to kind of zoom in just a little bit from Venezuela, a little movement to Orlando until we're happy. Next, we went in and we added the circle here at Venezuela, and then we added another one over here for Orlando. Finally, went in and we added in this line, but because the map was moving, we had to make sure that the line stayed put as the map moved, and so we adjusted that. And finally, the last thing we did was we then animated the line itself with a mask and adjusted it throughout as it moved through its spaces. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to go ahead and save this project and then close it. And then that will be that. Thank you so much.